Hey guys, welcome everyone to the webinar. Thank you very much for joining us today. Today we have a great session for you guys. I think you all will enjoy. We also had a lot of people sign up, so this is fantastic. Thank you very much for being here. For those of you that don't know, we also do this streaming live on our YouTube channels, and not only are we doing this webinar, but we do future webinars. We also post a lot of free content on there. So for those of you that are not familiar with our YouTube channel, please check us out. It's Lumibot on YouTube. So let me actually share my screen with you guys here. Let me share my screen. So again, this is live stream right here. You can see Lumibot. Essentially, this is what it is. You go to youtube.com and you'll search for Lumiwealth, Lumiwealth, right? And there we go. You can go in here and you can subscribe to us. And not only can you see this webinar, you'll see the recording of this webinar on our YouTube channel as well. But you also see any future webinars as well that we do. And we also put a lot of free content on there, so you have access to it that way. All right. So I just wanted to cover that really quickly before we get started. All right. So once again, thank you very much, guys, for joining us on this webinar. Just a show of hands. Can everyone hear me? Everyone see things good? Or see everything properly? There's a Q&A and there's a chat. So that's the way that you guys can interact with me. So if you guys can see me and everything is looking fine, please type into the Q&A or type into the chat. You'll see it's at Zoom. It's at the bottom in the Zoom basically app. It's the bottom over there, Q&A and chat, and you can speak to me through either one of those. So let me know if there's anything going on. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar as well, you can also message me through the Q&A or through the chat. Perfect. So I see one here. It's great. Thank you. Yes, I can see. Awesome. Thank you very much. Great confirmation. So yeah, so if you guys have questions throughout, perfect. You guys are using both of them. This is awesome. The Q&A and the good afternoon. Yes, I can see. Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. All right, perfect. So if you guys have questions throughout the webinar, make sure that you use either the chat or the Q&A, and I'll answer your questions as we go. All right. Okay. So here's our agenda for today. Basically, I'm going to take you through a brief introduction. First, I'm going to tell you about our course, a little bit about our company, a little bit about myself, to kind of introduce you to everything. So it's going to take a little bit of time first. And then we're going to jump into basically the topic for today, which is our live trading robot. We're going to show you a demo of it. I'm going to show you how the code works. I'm going to show you how you could potentially make one of these of your own, right? Okay, cool. So to get started, first of all, who am I, right? And why am I speaking on this webinar right now? So essentially, I am the CEO of Lumiwealth. It's a company that we started about 2 years ago. Doing quite well. We have lots of very happy customers. So thank you very much for those of you that have participated in our past courses and are using our technology. So thank you very much. My background, very briefly, I've been coding for a very long time, over 20 years now. As one of those people that started coding when I was like 10 or 12 years old. It's been a very long time that I've been coding, almost pretty much any language, name it. I've worked with C, C++, all the way up to Python now. I also started a few companies throughout my life, some of which we were able to sell and make some good money off of. Basically ended up in business school, doing a master's in finance. Graduated with a master's in finance from a top tier business school. It's from Canada, so you guys might not have heard of it, but it is kind of like an Ivy League type of school. After graduating from that, I went to go work on Wall Street for some amount of time, basically working in large companies. I've built everything from working at like large lenders where technology that a team that I put together, our software team, we were able to build out something of a piece of software that helps people with lending for about, I think, $50 billion they've done so far. So definitely a lot of money has gone through that kind of stuff. There's a team that I helped assemble. So I was very intimately involved in hiring and all that sort of thing, and running the team itself. I then went on to work at a company called Voyager. If you guys are familiar with crypto, you probably have heard of Voyager. It's worth, I think, $3 billion now, which is really cool to be. I was employee number 5 of the company, so helped architect the entire thing and start everything from scratch. It's basically a crypto broker where you can buy and sell Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that sort of thing. Very nice to see a company that you started to turn into something worth that much money. It's $3 billion now. So very nice. Anyway, so that's about myself. Lumi Wealth. What is Lumi Wealth? We're essentially a company. So what we believe in is, I worked on Wall Street for quite some time. And the problem with when you're investing on Wall Street is these people that have a lot of money, they have access to, so there's a question here. I'm a Voyager customer. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. It's always good to see Voyager customers. Yeah. This is a company that I remember Voyager. We were sitting in a WeWork with 4 people and almost no money. Went from that to being worth $3 billion. And I'm willing to bet probably going public on the NASDAQ sometime soon. So very cool. Thanks for being a customer. Yeah. So Lumi Wealth company I started after coming out of Voyager. So the reason we started this company was really to help individual investors make better returns, right? That's what we're all about. The reason why I say this and the reason why we started this is because these companies I used to work on Wall Street, these people have access to things that most individuals do not. That really bothered me working on Wall Street. So I really want to be able to take a lot of the tools that we have, a lot of the technology, all these things that we'd use on Wall Street, I want to bring that over to everyday people, right? I want to be able to actually give you the tools that these large corporations have, right? That's really the whole purpose of Lumi Wealth. We're teaching, we're also working on a bunch of technology that's going to help you with this as well. So technology is around the corner. We're working on some cool stuff too, like an algorithm marketplace is something we're working on. We're working on like a little cloud service. So we're doing a lot of things. This course is really the course that kind of started it all, right? Okay, so to speak of the course, the algorithmic trading course, this is our main flagship course, the one that most people are interested in when they learn about us and what we do. Basically, what this algorithmic trading course does is we teach you how to build your own trading robots, right? So imagine, put it this way, if you're trading stocks manually, you're only 20% of the stock market, right? Actually, I think it's even more than 80 to 90% of the stock market is run by robots. So if you're the one that's trading manually, you're one of the few. So think about the kind of disadvantage that people have over robots in other aspects of life. Imagine trying to outrun a robot. Imagine trying to outlift a robot. Robots do things better than human beings and almost across the board. Investing is not different. And I'll show you there's a lot of companies and there's a lot of evidence to back this up that I'll show you guys. But that's basically what we teach in this course is how to build these robots so you guys can take back that power, right? We have 3 different plans for this course. We have a self-directed plan, which basically is past recordings of our lectures that you can listen to. And you can watch on your own time and go through the lectures on your own time. It's very similar to like a Coursera or something like that, where you watch the lectures and do some, basically do activities and things like that. Our best-selling course or best-selling plan is our live classes, okay? Our live classes are amazing. People love these things. Basically, you join a live class. It's like this over Zoom, except this is a webinar, right? So you guys can't really interact so much. You can ask me questions through chat and things like that. But when we're in a live class over Zoom, not only can you send, chat messages and things like that, but you could also like just turn on your camera and ask questions, right? So, oh, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know. Like it's a much faster way of learning. It's a much more interactive way of learning. We find that people that take the live classes, they tend to learn a lot more. They tend to learn a lot faster, and they tend to actually like the experience a lot better. So this is really our flagship course, and our flagship plan is definitely the most popular. Again, it's like a live over Zoom, and it's really interactive. It's really fun, and it gets you to actually learn the stuff. It's some people take other courses and I don't have enough time or that sort of thing. When you take a live class, it really kind of gets you into that mode and gets you moving, right? This is much more comparable to something like a university course, being there in person. We don't do these things in person, and the only reason why is because it's such a niche topic that anything other than a city like New York or San Francisco, you're really not going to have enough people. But when we do this online, we could actually get enough people into our classes to do that sort of thing. There's also projects and things that you work on, so you get to present in front of the class. You get to ask questions in front of the class. You get to work in partners with other people, so you get to know other people in the class. And there's some people that have relationships actually that are still going on after the classes, working together on their own bots. So it's really quite amazing, right? So that's our live classes. We also have a project help or tutoring plan. This is basically if you want to have more one-on-one time, and you're going through our live classes and you really want to sit down, there's something specific that you want to build, we could actually help you build that out. Okay. This is the pricing for all those plans. Our self-directed plan, that's just watching videos and you're kind of going through it like a Coursera type course, that's $4.99. The live classes, like I said, this is our most popular and people absolutely love this. It's 12 weeks long, 1 hour, well, actually we say 1 hour per week. It usually goes a little longer, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours per week of actual in-class time. And then on top of that, you also work on projects, you work on assignments and things like that. So you get a lot out of it. So it's 12 weeks long, about an hour to 2 per week in actual lectures, and probably another 5 to 10 hours in coursework as well. Okay, and then our project help and tutoring plan, that's around $4,000. And we tend to be a little bit flexible with that as well, depending on how much help you need. Some people want a lot more, some people want less. So we're a little bit flexible there with that one too. But this is our project help and tutoring plan. All right. We've had a lot of students take our courses. We're definitely growing quite quickly as a company. We do give you a certificate at the end if that's something that you care about. So there you go. Okay, we have a question here. I'm going to pull up. Self-directed one-time payment. Yes, it's a one-time payment of $4.99. That's what it is. All right, so one-time payment of $4.99 for self-directed class. Here's some things about our course outcomes. Here's a course curriculum, which I'm going to take you through very briefly. Basically, a curriculum is divided up into 3 parts. Approximately, it's a month per part, right? So 12 weeks long, 4 weeks each part, okay? The first part, so even if you don't know how to code, we'll help you out with that, right? We'll teach you basics, the basics of Python and things like that. So we'll teach you, set you up with actually learning how to code and that sort of thing. We'll teach you the fundamentals of data science. So we teach you pandas, which is basically what everyone uses for data science. It's the most used, I think the most used data science library in the world for anything, right? Pandas is basically like, it's very similar to like Excel, but it's like Excel on steroids. It allows you to work with very large amounts of data and allows you to manipulate data in ways that you couldn't possibly do with Excel, right? So it's teaching you how to use pandas, learning basically how to apply that data science aspect to the finance world. If you don't know how to code, don't worry about it. We can actually teach you how to code. There's also some lectures that you can take before you even get started, so you kind of get ready for everything, right? If you do know how to code, don't worry, we're not going too slow. And we're actually we have a strong focus, not just on teaching coding, but it's also about how to apply it to the finance world. So we've made this course to be able to work for both types of people, right? Okay, so we got a couple questions here. So that one's answered. We got another chat. Pandas is wonderful. I very much agree with that. Pandas is amazing, definitely. Yeah. And not only will you learn pandas if you're going through a course, but you'll learn how to apply to the finance world. And we're very strong on that. Part 2, we really get deep into the finance world. We teach you about all the different data sources out there for getting financial data. Federal Reserve, Yahoo Finance. There's tons of other ones. There's this Quandl. We go through a bunch of different data sources and show you how to get that data, how to organize it, and how to interpret it. Right? We teach you how to work with financial metrics, basically like things like compound annual growth rate, standard deviation, max drawdown, Sharpe ratios, all these things we teach you about how to work with, which are very specific to finance. We give you a bunch of code as well that you can actually work with, so you don't have to build these things from scratch. So we get you a lot of stuff there. And then the rest of this part, we talk a lot about Backtesting. Backtesting, for those of you that don't know, this is how you build algorithms, right? And it's how you figure out if your investment strategy is a good strategy or not. So basically what backtesting is, and it's a very, very powerful technique, you put together your thesis or your strategy, right? With using our Lumibot, we make it very easy for you to do that as well. We have another Q&A. I'm just going to answer that really quickly. Will out of sample testing or forward testing be covered? Do you want to explain a little bit more what you mean by that, out of sample testing or forward testing? I'll let you type that out. If you could elaborate a little bit more on that, because I believe we do, but I just want to be sure that I'm answering the question based on exactly what you want, what you're trying to refer to. So if you could type out a little bit more of a detailed description, please. Yeah. So, and maybe I'll even answer your question going through this. So backtesting, essentially what backtesting is we're looking at the past, let's say 30 or 40 years, and we're taking our existing strategy and we're testing it out on those past 20 or 30 or 40 years. So presumably, if this strategy worked over the past 30 years, it should also work going forward, right? And there's lots of ways that you can test that. And actually, I just had a lecture about this yesterday, which is great. Had a lot of great questions about this. There's lots of really interesting techniques they can use. You can have rolling time frames. You could test out longer time periods. You also want to be doing a lot of paper trading after this to basically confirm all this. But backtesting is the fundamental way that you're able to see, is your investment strategy something that potentially can work and make you money, right? So we cover a lot of backtesting. We teach you how to do it manually, and then we teach you also, and we should actually even update this. We teach you how to use Lumibot specifically, which is our open source library on how to do this sort of thing. Make it very, very easy for you to be able to test your strategies and get some great results, right? Okay, so that's part 2, very heavy on teaching you how to apply data science to the finance world, and about backtesting and making sure that the strategies is basically helping you discover new strategies and see if those strategies are going to work, right? It's essentially what part 2 is all about. Okay. Q&A. So what is the difference between backtesting and regression modeling? So regression modeling, okay, so just to make sure that I'm answering the question the way that you want to, regression modeling is my understanding, and the way that you're asking it is we're looking at, how things have, we're trying to find correlations in data, right? When you're doing regressions, right? You're trying to correlate this to that. But the thing is, regressions are good at helping you find ideas, but they're not good at actually helping you find out if those ideas would have worked. Things can be very, very different when you're actually trading for real, right? So doing a regression and saying, okay, this is correlated to that, that's great. And that could be helpful, right? But the thing is, you're not going to know if that strategy worked unless you backtest it, which is basically going backwards in time and actually, okay, it's 1990 and I have this data in front of me, I'm going to make this trade, right? And then, okay, now it's 1991 and I have this data in front of me, I'm going to make this trade. It's a very different thing than regression, because basically you're going to get actual results from it, right? You're going to see how those trades actually would have worked as opposed to just seeing correlation. So backtesting is very, very important, right? We have another Q&A here. Can this methodology be used to trade and rebalance mutual funds? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's what we use it for, right? One of the strategies I'm going to show you today is a diversification strategy, which is basically taking your money and rebalancing it amongst a certain set of assets. So I'll actually show you a demo of that later today. And I think it's really important to be able to do rebalancing and that sort of thing. It's a great way to manage your risks, right? Okay. So yeah, so we went through part 1 and we went through part 2. So now let's go through part 3 that we're going to go through in the course. Part 3 is all about, so part 1 is the fundamentals, right, of coding and of data science and applying it to finance. Part 2 is all about looking at financial data, coming up with new strategies and testing those strategies to make sure that it's something that's going to make you money. And part 3 is all about building a trading robot, like actually getting the thing to run and function for you, right? So we teach you how to work with different brokers. We work with Alpaca right now, and we have it in here written as Alpaca. And a question I get all the time is, do you work with other brokers? The answer is yes. It's very easy for us to link up to other brokers. Basically, it's very simple. We're actually going to be just adding this into Lumibot just because so many people ask for it. This will be in Lumibot probably in the next 2 months or less. So by the time that you guys get to this in the course, we will have TD Ameritrade in there. We're planning on also adding in Binance, right? But you can also trade with other brokers yourself as well. We teach you how to do this sort of thing, right? So we work with Alpaca because it's a great broker. It's kind of like Robinhood for APIs, free trades, right? And basically really, really good APIs that allow you to create bots very, very easily. So they're a fantastic company. So we work with them. That's what we teach with, but we're also adding in the TD Ameritrade and the Binance. So if you guys take this course, yes, we do trade with other brokers as well, right? So we could teach you how to do that throughout the course, and we'll explicitly be adding that into Lumibot, right? So we teach you how to build these robots in the third part of the course. We teach you how to connect to Alpaca. We teach you how to use our Lumibot code to basically create these bots and make it very, very easy for you to backtest and then trade. And then we really go into a lot of different algorithms and show you what the results are like and what things would look like actually in real life. One other thing we're going to be adding in here as well is we're going to be putting in how to actually deploy something like this to a server so you guys can have this thing actually running without having your laptop open. So we're adding that in as well, right? And then the last part of it, we also teach you a little bit about machine learning. This is because a lot of people have asked for this. So we teach you the basics of machine learning, really, really simple, using a simple library, kind of to get your feet wet there. If you guys are super interested in machine learning, we also have a course that really gets deep into it, and we'll teach you some very interesting techniques on machine learning. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions about the course curriculum. Essentially, by the time that you finish our entire course, you will have gone from I don't know how to code to having your trading strategies investigated and back tested and making sure that they make sense to having a working trading bot. That's what we're going to get you coming out of this with, right? Okay, so I believe this is the extended version of, okay, so testing on a subset of data not used seen when initially back tested and training the algo out of sample. What I meant by forward testing is testing on live data, i.e. paper trading. Yes, we do paper trading, absolutely. And the kind of the technique, yeah, that's thank you for explaining that. So kind of the technique to building a trading robot in general is first of all, obviously you need to know how to code, right? But second of all, then you have to do your research, figure out kind of what are some good trading strategies, which we teach you how to do that, doing the research portion of it. Then back testing your strategy and seeing if it would have worked on past trading data. And then once you have that going, then you want to run it on paper trades and see how that works over a period of time. Then you run your robot live. So we're all about reducing your risk. I am not in the business of losing anyone money. I want you guys to make as much money as humanly possible. And that really very much involves risk management, and that very much involves building out something that makes money and is reliable and is going to continue to work for you going forward, right? So that's my answer to that question. Paper trading, absolutely, we have to do before you launch. Trading strategies covers options for trading as well. It's funny how often I get asked this question. We're working on a course specifically for options trading. So we're currently in progress for a course that goes into depth because there's so much details on options trading that people need to know in order to be good at it, that I believe we need to have a full out course just on that, all the different trading strategies and how they work and all that sort of thing. But within this course, and I could tell you the course I'm teaching right now, I'm the instructor for this course. I could tell you we currently have a few people that are interested in options. I'm also talking to someone where we're going to build out a bot form for options as well. We absolutely will be covering ways for you to be doing options trading. It's not going to be an extensive, go really into depth on it, but we will be teaching you also how to apply this. That's why we want to add other brokers, right? Like TD Ameritrade is a broker that has options trading, which is why we want to add that in, right? we're building out Lumibot in such a way so that we can actually support options trading as well. So if you want to take this course and you want to use it specifically for options trading, that is absolutely something you can do. Although I must tell you, we're not going to go in depth into it, but you could take your existing knowledge in options and definitely apply it to a trading robot. So yes, we currently have students that are looking to do that sort of thing. Okay, so to tell you kind of when these courses are coming up, our next live course is on March 11th starting, and the cutoff date for registration is tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, sign up ASAP because this course is starting very, very soon. And spaces run out. We don't have enough spaces for everybody. We try to keep our classes a little smaller so that everyone gets a chance to interact with each other. So if you guys want to join these courses, you have tomorrow's is the deadline basically. So make sure that you sign up. Basically the way you sign up is you'll make sure you go to lumiwealth.com. When you go to lumiwealth.com, you'll scroll down, there's getting started, and then there's our courses and services at the bottom here. We have our algorithmic trading course. You click on that, right? And that's going to take you to the same page I've been showing you. You'll go down here, see available dates, right? Which takes you down, and you're going to select course, and you can actually go through there and purchase, right? So again, this is coming up really soon. The deadline's really soon. So make sure that you guys subscribe so you guys can actually hold your space, right? Can I use a self-directed class so I get the same content as a live class? So the self-directed class is essentially, you get the recordings of our past live classes, right? So the difference between a self-directed and a live class. So live class, okay, let's start with self-directed. Self-directed, you'll get access to the past recordings of our live classes, right? For a live class, you're going to get all the latest material because these things change over time, right? The live classes that we had back in October, we have improved them significantly. There's a lot of things have changed, a lot of new technology has come out, and we have improved our technology a lot. So you get the latest stuff when you go through our live classes. You also get the chance to interact with people, right? You get a chance to interact with the other students. A lot of people end up working together on different projects throughout the class. There's a lot of opportunities for people to collaborate on their projects. And there's obviously the chance of you asking questions live and actually getting answers to the subject matter as we're going through it live. So that's kind of the difference between the live trading or the live courses and the self-directed, right? Okay, cool. We also go through 2 projects within the course. And these are the things that people really care about. I think this is probably one of the top things people care about within the course. We create 2 projects. So the first 1 month of the course it's a bunch of assignments to kind of get the ball rolling, get you guys some practice pretty quickly. We get a bunch of assignments the first month. Month 2, we start on this project, which is analyzing investment strategies. So basically it's you going off doing research on your own strategy, taking that research, putting it into a back test, seeing if it would have worked. And that's basically the project that you come out with. You get a chance to research your own kind of trading strategies using this project. Okay? Project 2 is the one that we do at the last month of the course. And that's basically building out a live trading robot that actually will trade for you automatically and it'll be working live. All right, so those are two projects that you come out with by the end of the course. All right. Here's a little bit of information about me as well. I'm the one teaching this course, right? So you could read a little bit about myself if you'd like. And there's a bunch of testimonials down here as well of some of our past students. This isn't, we have a couple more that we can add in as well, but this is a couple of, past students, their testimonials. Agim is really interesting to listen to. He actually has his own bot up and running. Last I heard, he's making like 1% a day on his bot, which is quite substantial if you think about it. 1% per day that turns into 200%. I mean, don't quote me on it though. It's the last I heard. You should check him out. He's actually also on our Discord channel, so you can actually talk to him specifically. Renee is another past student that was in the course, did some great stuff, and Sintai is another one as well. I could tell you, Agim started off no coding experience at all. He started from scratch and was able to get a train bot up and running before the end of the course. like really cool. He really like made some really cool stuff. Renee and Sentayan both are programmers, and they were still able to get a lot out of the course too. So as I said, this course works for both people that don't know how to code and for people that know how to code and want to apply it to finance. Please read watch the reviews, listen to them. Don't take my word for it in this course. Just watch our past students, right? There's also, if you go into our testimonials, there's a few more in here, and we're constantly adding more and more. Here's a game's actual trading robot if you want to see his results, right? If you go to testimonials, right? Okay, cool. So that's some information about our course. Again, our last course sold out. So make sure that you don't wait until it's last minute. Tomorrow is also the cutoff date. So if you're interested, please sign up. We really don't have a lot of time left for this session. Okay, cool. Make sure, another thing, also make sure you follow us on YouTube. As I said before, Lumi Wealth on YouTube. You can follow us here. You can get a recording of this webinar there. And we also do future webinars on our YouTube channel. We also give a lot of free stuff away. So make sure that you follow us on YouTube. You can get a lot of cool stuff from that. Then also our Discord channel is another really good one for you guys to check out. This link, by the way, will be on our YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube, you'll get access to this entire presentation from like actually watching the presentation on YouTube. It's also available on our website. At the very bottom here, we have a demo of our trading robot. We have a link here, and we'll send this out to you guys, by the way. This is, you don't have to like memorize this. We'll send you guys out an email. You could join Discord here as well, right? And what is Discord? Discord is essentially this right here. It's our chat server, I guess we call it, with Discord. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. You could talk to past students. There's lots of really interesting chats with people talking about the stock market. So it's some really smart people talking about what's going on. There's also, you could talk about Lumibot if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Lumibot. There's our development channel for that. And we also created a brand new channel, which we're trying to grow. This is kind of the early stages of us creating like an algorithm marketplace, where if there's programmers that actually build algorithms. And then if you want to actually have an algorithm built for you, you could communicate through this channel. So there's a lot of cool stuff there on Discord. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Okay. And one more thing that I want to bring up before we finish is there's a survey at the end of the webinar. Please fill out the survey. It helps us make these things better and better over time. I read those things all the time. So believe me, fill out the survey. I'm going to be reading every single comment that's in there, and I'm going to be taking your feedback and constantly improving not just this webinar, but our courses and our company. I love getting feedback. I love creating things that our customers love. I'm very passionate about that, and that to me is very important. So please fill out the survey at the end of the webinar so that we can make things better for you over time. All right. Okay. I have another question here. Are bots built within a cloud domain and subject to edge appropriation akin to Amazon and Facebook? I'm not entirely sure what edge appropriation is, but I could tell you that our bots, you don't need to run them on a server. Okay. If you want to, you can run them on a server. That's no problem. But a lot of people just run this off their laptops. Just make sure you keep your laptop open during market hours, right? So a lot of people do that. We're also going to be teaching you how to actually put them onto a server, like an AWS or something like that. And it's basically, if you're familiar, putting onto an EC2 and just having it run off that. So there isn't any controls, I think, that Facebook or anyone else will have control over. It's not a platform that we charge for. You can use, we teach Amazon, but you could use Google Cloud Platform if you want. Use whatever. We don't take any kind of fees or anything like that, right? Can you share the presentation with us later today? Yes, we will be sending out this presentation. So actually, if you want to get the presentation, even right now, go to our website, go to lumiwealth.com, go to the bottom, and under webinars is a demo of our live trading robot. Click on that link and you can get it immediately. This is the presentation link right here. Okay. And it's also one of our past recordings too, they can watch. So you get the link right there. I'll also be sending this to you guys through the email. So you guys have a link to the presentation as well in your email. Okay. But if you want it right now, you can get it off our website. All right. It's also on our YouTube channels. We're going to post on our YouTube. So if you follow us on YouTube, you'll also get the link there on the past recordings. All right. Okay, cool. So that's that question. Thank you. Good presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Okay, cool. So that's the introduction. And now let's get into the meaty part. You know, the part that you guys are probably most anxious to see. Sorry, actually one more question before we continue. What is the schedule of day and time of live class? Oh, sure. Let me go over that. So let me pull this up here. So this is our buy now. You guys can check this out on our website as well. But the classes are, so the March class that starts March 11th, it's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so 5 p.m. Pacific. Okay, these classes are usually about an hour, hour and a half, and it's live over Zoom. Okay. We recommend that you spend, 8 to 12 hours a week on top of the classes so you can get the most out of it and you can actually really learn the stuff. This amount of effort changes quite substantially depending on people that know how to code, usually spend a little less effort. People that don't know how to code, they usually, especially at the beginning, have to catch up a little bit more. So they're probably closer to, the 10, 12 hours. If you already know how to code, it'll probably be a little bit easier for you to go through the course, right? And again, it's 12 weeks long, excluding holidays. So if there's, I think Easter's coming up soon. We're not gonna have a class on Easter. Who wants to have a class on Easter, right? But yeah, other than that, it's every week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And this one's on a Thursday. We're also having one starting in May, which the course will start May 5th. Registration ends April 21st. And that one's going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific. So this is every Thursday, this is every Wednesday. Let me know if you guys want to have different days of the week or different times. We've been considering actually doing even weekend classes. So let me know if that's something you guys would want to do. Because we're currently considering, should we have a class on a Saturday or a Sunday, and what time on a Saturday or Sunday? So we've been looking into that. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in, right? Okay, cool. So that's all that stuff. So now to get into the meat of it, right? So switching over from talking about our course to talking about what is algorithmic trading in the first place, right? I alluded to this earlier. I'm assuming since you're in the webinar, you probably have an idea of what this is, but to go a little bit more into depth, basically algorithmic trading is using software to analyze data, right? So analyze, trading information. So that's like stock prices, that's news. So like the Reddit type stuff, we could definitely use Reddit to actually trade off of things, right? Like the GameStops of the world, you could actually have a bot that's reading Reddit. And if a new stock comes up, we could actually trade that and be faster than anyone else, right? So analyzing lots and lots of data, it's stuff that like human beings just couldn't possibly do. You can't possibly analyze that much data that a bot could. It's humanly impossible. Like you can't read, 10,000 articles a minute, like no human being on earth can do that, right? But a bot can, right? So analyzing lots and lots of data and then making trades off of it. Some people also opt to have their trading bot doesn't actually trade for them. It can give them trading alerts and then they actually execute off those trades. That is also possible using this technology, right? Okay. Why do we care about this sort of thing? Why does this matter? Well, because the results are astounding for this kind of stuff. You look at the biggest hedge funds in the world, all of them are using algorithmic trading, Renaissance Technologies, okay, $110 billion in assets. These guys pioneered algorithmic trading. These guys have been reported to produce 39% returns per year. And that's with low risk and uncorrelated to the stock market. So for example, their medallion fund last year made 79%. Think about that. A lot of people lost money last year, especially in March. These guys made 80%. Mind you, we beat that in our fund, which is kind of amazing that we beat Renaissance, but that's a different point. But yeah, I mean, that's absolutely incredible returns. Imagine 40% on average with very low standard deviation, with very low risk. These guys are basically, they have a printing press. They basically they're minting money. They might as well print it. You know what I mean? If you actually do the math on this, I did the math on this before, but I really should write this down somewhere. 1.4 to the power of 30 years, you get something like, you could turn $1 into like $10,000 with those kinds of returns. It is absolutely astounding the amount of money that these guys make. These guys have reportedly, like, I mean, the book is really good. If you read, it's called The Man Who Solved the Market. It's about Jim Simmons, the guy that runs this fund. He's like a math guy. And that's why they ended up making these like algorithms and robots to trade things. They pioneered the whole thing. These guys, like, honestly, he's, I think, worth $20 billion, the guy that created that. And everyone that works at the fund is just astoundingly rich. I think the average salary, actually not even the average salary, I think the entrance salary for them, starting salary, is around like $350,000 a year. That does not include bonuses. So these guys are like, the entry level guys are making $1 million a year. That's the kind of money these guys are making. It's ridiculous, right? But they're not the only ones, right? Like Renaissance is one company that's been in the limelight, right? But I mean, Two Sigma has been doing fantastic as well. They have done double the stock market performance in Two Sigma. That's why they have so much money under management. People give them money because they know they produce a lot of very good returns, and not just very good returns, but risk-adjusted returns, meaning that you're not. Like, everyone has the friend, oh yeah, I made 100% on my returns this year and whatever. Okay, great. You doubled your money. What about next year? Are you going to also lose everything? Right. Doubling your money is great until, like, for example, the past week, this is actually a great example. The past week, I'm part of a few like different trading groups. Everyone's freaking out. The NASDAQ's down, and all these people that were talking about, yeah, we made tons of money and whatever. They're not doing so well, right? Whereas our funds are doing actually very well. We're significantly outperforming the market on ups and on downs. Right. So that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to get you guys to have. Right. It's not just making money on the way up. It's also making sure that you don't lose money on the way down. Right. And that's what Two Sigma can do. Citadel has been doing similar. Bridgewater has been doing similar. D.E. Shaw, all these like major hedge funds, like, look at how much money they manage, $138 billion. Right. D.E. Shaw, $50 billion. These guys are using algorithms to make their trades. They're not using humans. You know what I mean? And basically, and another thing I want to bring up too is, again, if you build your own trading robot, you don't even necessarily, like, for example, this is what Bridgewater does. Okay. Bridgewater, what they do is they have these algorithms that are telling them, should we do this or should we do that? And they're listening to these algorithms. But they also execute the trades manually, right? So they don't have the robot trade them. They have the robot inform their trades, right? So we can teach you how to build those types of things as well. Companies like Renaissance, these guys just have the robots trade completely on their own, right? Whereas the Bridgewater has the robots inform their decisions. But in either case, they're using technology to really juice the returns and get not only high returns, but also risk adjusted. That's the name of the game. And that's what these guys are doing. And that's what we're trying to teach you guys, right? We're giving the tools of these types of companies over to you, right? Okay, cool. So speaking about our returns, this is actually not even our best performing portfolio, but to tell you a little bit about, kind of what we've done. Last year, we got a 53% return approximately. That compares to S&P 500, which did 17%. So we did quadruple the stock market's returns last year, right? This is for one of our investment funds. We actually have another one that did even better, pretty close to 100%. That was because we made like one really good stock pick in that portfolio that just, I think it was up 7,000% this year. But yeah, I mean, these are types of returns you see. I mean, if you guys want, I could sign into my account and show you live. But this is a screenshot essentially of my broker, one of our funds, and essentially what we've done to trade. So, it's not just fluff. We actually are getting some good returns using this type of information and this type of data. So there we go. Right. Okay, so that's a little bit about our performance. Okay, now to get into the code, because I think this is what you guys are really interested in, even though we've had some great questions so far. So thank you very much for all those questions. But to get into the actual code and show you guys actually the demos and this stuff working, because that's always fun to do. Let's talk about first the tools we'll be using. We're going to use Alpaca, the broker. Again, we use Alpaca in our courses because they're a fantastic broker, zero commission, really easy to work with. But there's other brokers that we could work with as well. TD Ameritrade, Binance, like for crypto. We could trade options with TD Ameritrade. We can also work with interactive brokers, although I don't recommend, they're not very good. But you can if you want to. We can actually show you how to set all that up. But in this case, we're going to be using Alpaca, right? We use Python, specifically Python 3, because it's the latest. We use pandas, as we spoke about before, Excel on steroids, amazing data science library. And then we use Visual Studio Code in this, which is this little thing here that shows off all our code, all right? Okay, so that's our tools. In this code, I could walk you through the code really quickly, but I think most people just want to see the demos. We have an open source library, so you guys can check it out. This is, we use this in our courses. So we, if you want, you could try to build some stuff on your own with this, but we'll teach you A, how to use this thing. We'll teach you B, how to do all the research and everything up front so that when you do use it, you actually use it well to make you some money. And number three, we teach you how to actually even take it further than this and do some really, really cool stuff. But this is our open source library. Again, so you know we're not BSing. We actually do know how to do this sort of stuff. We've been doing it for a while. And over here it kind of teaches you how to install everything and set it up on your computer. You can get this up and running pretty quickly, right? And a lot of people do that. Yeah. And basically this open source library allows you, it's really cool. It allows you to first create a strategy, and then it's very easy to create a strategy. I'll show you, it's not a lot of code. It's very simple to get up and running. You can then back test it very easily. And then the exact same code, you can run it live. And you can run it live on paper trading first, and then run it live on actual trading. And that all is seamless. It's all the exact same code throughout the entire thing. In fact, what I'm showing you, the demo, I'll show you how it actually runs a backtest first and then starts trading, okay? And we actually encourage that sort of thing to make sure that you don't have any bugs in your code and that sort of thing, all right? Okay, cool. So that's our open source code. We have a bunch of example strategies in there, which I'll walk you through today. We have data sources, and it's very easy for you to add your own data sources as well, if that's what you want to do. It's very easy to add in new brokers. We have Alpaca. Again, we're adding in more brokers. So it's pretty easy for you to be able to add in your own. And importantly, it's very easy for you guys to create your own strategies, right? It's a very small amount of code. I'll walk you through it. Very simple to get strategies up and running, okay? And backtesting is included, right? This is something that we added in recently, where you can take your code, backtest it, and then trade it in one fell swoop without having to change any code, right? So for our demo, what I'm going to be showing you guys in our demo is these strategies here. But a really quick note, in the course, we're going to go into a lot more detail than this in the course. This is very quick, right? In our course, we teach you a lot about like the fundamentals of the data science. We teach you about how to look through financial data and analyze it. We teach you how to research your own strategies and backtest them. And then we teach you how to create your own strategies as well. So all that stuff is in addition to this in the course. This lecture kind of that we're doing here is kind of like a day 11 lecture, maybe a third of it, right? So it's kind of maybe a little bit of a sample of like kind of what you could expect in the course. Have you all considered using notebooks like Jupyter? Yeah, we use notebooks very much. We use Jupyter notebooks very much throughout our course. So Jupyter notebooks, I think are wonderful. They're a fantastic tool. We use them within the first maybe 4 or 5 weeks. We're almost exclusively using Jupyter notebooks because A, it's very easy for people to get up and running with Jupyter notebooks, and B, they're very good for research. So yes, we use Jupyter notebooks quite often throughout our course, right? Okay, so within this demo, I'm going to walk you guys through 3 different strategies: momentum strategy, intraday momentum, and diversification strategy. Momentum strategy is basically buy the thing that's been doing the best over the past few days. Intraday momentum is buy the thing, the thing that's been doing the best over the past few minutes. So it's like within intraday, it's minute by minute, okay? And then diversification, which is basically rebalancing portfolios, right? And this is what Ray Dalio, the CEO of Bridgewater, recommends doing, at least as a basis, right? So that you can manage your risks very well. And again, this is one of the reasons why we don't get killed when the market goes down. The NASDAQ is down, it was like 10% from the peak. We're pretty much flat, like we haven't lost any, I mean, we didn't make money, but we haven't lost anything, right? So, doing these kind of diversification strategies and whatnot are actually very, very important. And we teach you that throughout the course, right? Okay, cool. So let's get into the code. Let's do some fun stuff. All right, so first of all, I'm going to show you my broker here. This is Alpaca, the broker. This is just a paper trading account. We just mess around with this thing. Not real money, okay? I plan on actually running a real money account pretty soon. live on YouTube. So you guys can just like watch it 24/7. That's what I plan on doing soon. So just so that people know what's going on. It's like, I think it'll be a really cool thing to do. We'll eventually get there, but this is a paper trading account. I'm going to do this live with you guys. As you can see, there's an actual broker. I can refresh it. This is, you know, this is going to be code executing this completely. I'm not going to be touching it. All right. Okay. So first, let's do the momentum strategy. Okay. The one that I was telling you about. Okay. So momentum strategy, what it's going to do, actually, you know, let's start off with diversification. That one's a little bit more fun to watch. So diversification, what this strategy is going to do, and let me walk you through the code really quickly. It's not a lot of code here. We basically have an initialize method that shows you this is the proportions of each of the assets. You guys can change this very easily, by the way. So we want a proportion of assets here. This is what Ray Dalio recommends. 30% in SPY, which is stock market, 40% in long-term bonds, 15% in intermediate-term bonds, 7.5% in gold, and 7.5% in commodities. Okay, so we're basically just rebalancing a portfolio like that constantly, right? Then actually, you know, let me run this so that we're not waiting for it later on. Okay, so and then this is basically the whole code. This is what it takes to have a strategy like that going. Is this right here on trading iteration, and then this little bit here, right? So basically, it's like, you know, that much code, right? And plus that much code up at the top. So it's like one page of code, right? To do something actually quite complicated. If you want to build your own bot from scratch, believe me, this is going to be a lot of work if you're building it from scratch. So what we've built is we've built something that makes it very easy for you guys, okay? So what's going on here is I ran this strategy. I'm running this diversification strategy. And you can see here it's doing a back test first, okay? So first it's going to back test the strategy, okay, to see how the strategy would have performed over a time period, okay? In this case, we're doing a time period of 2018 to 2019. So January 1st, 2018, January 1st, 2019. Different time periods will give you different results, right? We just chose this time period, okay? So basically, we ran this. So let me, 1 second. We just made some updates. So I'm going to make sure that this is. So let me rerun this again here. Sorry about this. We literally made some changes today. I updated a bunch of things, so hopefully this isn't going to cause some issues. Let me rerun this here. So yeah. So anyways, what this is doing is it's running again the back test, right? And then we're actually going to do the live trading. So I'm going to skip the back test because we already showed you that. And it's going to take a little bit more time. I'm going to just get it to actually run live. So let's hit go. What this is doing is it's connecting to our broker, okay? And it is essentially going to be doing that diversification strategy where, there we go, okay? So going to be running that diversification strategy where it takes $50,000 and splits it up amongst those assets in that specific proportion I was telling you about. So 30%, 40%, 15, 7, 7, okay? So when we go into the broker, automatically, boom, we see that 50 grand was automatically dispersed among all these different assets. TLT being the biggest one, which is our long-term bonds, the SPY, which is S&P 500, IEF, gold, and commodities. You see commodities actually outperforming. This is one of the reasons why we've been doing well lately too, is because of the commodities are outperforming. But yeah, so automatically, this is able to run this sort of thing. And, you know, as you saw, I didn't make any trades. The code actually did it automatically and split that up. If you run this thing for a certain amount of time, it will also automatically rebalance itself, right? So it'll check in on itself and say, okay, you know, the stock market's down, so let's sell some things and buy more stock market because, you know, it seems like it's a good time to buy right now, right? Or vice versa. If the stock market's up, like for example, our algorithms have been telling us stock market's been overvalued for quite a while. We've been selling a lot of that. We've been selling that and buying bonds, right? Specifically inflation hedge bonds, right? Which is why we're actually in a very good position today, right? So this is the diversification strategy that you guys can run. So let's see the Q&A. See that you're using Anaconda. Is that recommended for the class? Anaconda, you don't have to use Anaconda for the class. We tell people to basically just install Anaconda because that makes your life a lot easier. You don't have to install everything from scratch. But yeah, I mean, we use Anaconda, but we only use it in order to install everything on your computer. That's the only thing we really use Anaconda for, because it automatically comes with like machine learning stuff. It comes with pandas. It comes with all the latest and greatest things automatically come with Anaconda, right? Okay, cool. So that's our diversification strategy. I'm going to run this again just for the back test so you guys can see it, because I didn't want to run it again before because I don't want to waste you guys' time. But here, let's run this back test here so you guys can see actually how this strategy would have performed over a period of time, right? So we saw that it could actually automatically trade for us. So you saw those trades get executed, and you saw also when I canceled the bot, automatically sold all of them too, right? It's programmatically, we've made it that way. So if your bot shuts down, automatically sells everything. You don't have to do that, but we do that with ours. Now let's back test that strategy, this diversification strategy, the one that Ray Dalio recommends, that certain proportion of assets, right? Let's back test it. We see this nice little scroll bar here. When we see the results, of back test, you see why Ray Dalio thinks is such a good strategy, right? What it does is it provides you with very good returns without sacrificing, really good. Yeah, it gives you really good returns without sacrificing on risk, right? So it's able to give you a very good mix between risk and return, right? So meaning when the market falls apart, like for example, when we saw there, it bought SPY, whatever. SPY is down the most, but it owns a bunch of other things as well. There you go. Now it went through properly. It owns a bunch of other things as well that will offset that, right? So SPY is down a lot, but DJP is making up for that, right? It's up a little bit as well, right? I mean, obviously we're right across the board today, but you wouldn't be down like some of these people, like down 10% on the month or 10% on the week. You wouldn't be like that. You'd be in a much better position using this strategy, right? And here's the back testing results to prove it. So in that time period that we talked about, 2018 to 2019, this strategy would have gotten you pretty much flat, pretty much zero, right? With a very low volatility and not a big loss. Your biggest loss in that year would have gone from peak to trough of 5% down, right? Whereas in that same year for the S&P 500, you would have lost 3%, right? You would have had way higher volatility. It would have been going crazy up and down for you, right? And just, I don't know about you guys, but I don't sleep very well when I lose 5% a day. That is not fun. That's why at all costs we avoid it. So your volatility would have been very high, and the biggest loss you would have made just using the S&P 500 would have been 19%. So if you're using this strategy, on a year when the stock market was down, you would have been flat instead. You would have had much lower volatility, and your maximum loss would have been much less, right? So clearly a good strategy when you look at it from this perspective, right? We could also back test over a longer time period. I don't do that on these webinars because it takes way too long to do that over a very long period, but we could back test this over 30, 40 years. And you'll see that this does really, really well compared to the stock market. Much lower volatility, much less risks happening, and you sleep much better. And there's some very interesting ways they can leverage that to actually make money off it. So great strategy. I'm a fan, and so is Ray Dalio. So it's one of the ones that we show off. All right. Okay. So that's the back testing strategy, the diversification strategy. Another strategy that people are quite interested in, and it tends to work pretty well for some people, is the momentum. Okay. This is a very simple strategy. There's much more complicated momentum stuff that you could do. You could look at like RSI and things like that. And we'll probably add in an example of that sometime soon because people just keep asking for it. But this is a very simple momentum. And it's basically what it does is it has, this is one of my old students that wanted us to build this for him back in the day. It has 3 different symbols, right? So it has the SPY, which is again, the stock market, VEU, which is basically all stocks outside the United States, right? So SPY is US stocks, VEU is everything other than US stocks. So like, China, Japan, you name it, all the other countries. And then AGG is just bonds across the world, right? So bonds, treasury bonds, and I think corporate bonds as well. Okay, so those are the three assets that we're looking at. And then basically what we want to do, and I'm going to run, oh, whoops, I'm running the wrong code here. I need to run the bot code. So just so that you guys don't have to wait for it, I'm going to run it. There you go. So basically it's taking these three symbols, okay? And then what it's doing is it's picking the one that is doing the best. So this is all the code. It's like one page of code. It's like nothing for building a bot. It's looking at which symbol is doing the best over the past 1 day. In this case, we're looking at a 1 day period. You could change that to be 2 days or 5 days or 100 days or 300 days, whatever you guys want. But basically it's looking over a period of time, which stock did the best, and then just buying the one that is doing the best. That's it. So it's momentum. So it's like saying things have been going well, so they will continue to go well. And that's a momentum type strategy. Okay. And this is on a daily basis. Okay. So day to day, right? And we're looking at which one did the best the day before. We're just keeping that one. Okay. So now for this one, when we back test it, we get a pretty good return, right? We see our return for that year was 6.5%, which is very nice. When in that year, the stock market lost 3.5%. So you would have been up quite a bit more versus the stock market. In this case, you would have been beating the stock market by 10%, which is very nice. Everyone else would have been complaining about losing money. You would be making money. It's amazing. The volatility is also lower than S&P 500. So S&P 500 is 17% volatility. This has only 10.5%, right? The Sharpe ratio is higher, which is basically a measure of risk to return. And the biggest loss we would have made was only 10%, whereas in the S&P 500, you would have lost 19%. So you have a lower volatility, you have higher returns, and you have a less of a max loss. It's amazing. Great returns and low risk. Perfect, right? So we backtest that strategy. Seems to work pretty well, at least in that time period, okay? So now let's take a look at what it did. Basically what it's doing is it's comparing these three, which one, like this is basically the main thing that we need to read here. So the SPY had a return of a -1, VEU had a return of a -1.2, but AGG is doing the best. It didn't lose as much money. So it chose to buy AGG. So there we go. So now our momentum strategy. So on a day like today, you're not losing 2%, you're losing 0.3%, right? And then we can jump back into it and we'll automatically readjust and buy the winning one as it goes, right? So this is a bot that'll do that for you automatically, right? So like right now, like for example, if we're doing this kind of momentum strategy, we would have sold our stuff 2-3 days ago, right? Using this kind of strategy. So that's kind of the deal here. All right, so that's a momentum strategy. Okay, I'm going to cancel this, so it's going to sell everything, and you see, automatically sells. I'm not trading any of this stuff. This is all automatic through the bot. Okay, and I'm going to show off our last strategy that I'm going to show you guys for today, and that's our intraday momentum strategy. Okay, and this one, what it does is it's very similar to momentum in that it's looking at a certain set of assets over a time period. Okay, it's basically saying over the past few minutes, which stock did the best, right? And then we'll automatically buy that stock that did the best. And the stocks that we're looking at specifically, to show you the code, intraday momentum, we're looking at SPY, gold, TLT, Microsoft, and Tesla. Okay, so it's looking at all those stocks, and you see the results here. It's saying basically gold is up a little bit, TLT is up. So gold and bonds are up a bit in the past 2 minutes. So because those two are up, we're going to be buying those, right? So we're going to buy TLT specifically. When we turn around, we see that the bot actually bought TLT for us, right? So TLT is on the way up, right? So that's why we're owning that. So in the middle of the day, as things are changing, this bot can automatically respond to market conditions and will say, okay, well, stocks are not doing so well. Let's buy some bonds because bonds in the past few minutes have been going up. So let's buy into that trend, right? So this is what the bot is doing. And if we run this for a long enough time, sometimes, live, it's sometimes hard to see this, but as things change, right? So, okay, there you go. So now I looked at it again. Okay. And now we see that a lot of these things are up. Okay. Microsoft is up now the most. Okay, now Microsoft is up the most in the past 2 minutes. Okay, so now it's switched over. It's sold TLT and it bought Microsoft, right? So you see that how it's automatically responding to market conditions. So it's basically doing like momentum trading for you throughout the middle of the day, right? Doing this kind of thing manually would be very, very difficult to say the least. So this robot can do this for you automatically. You can sit down, watch it. Honestly, I could put this thing, it'll trade all day long. It'll just automatically buy and sell stocks for me, and do it based off momentum. All right. Okay, cool. So any questions about that? And we could just watch this thing trade. It's actually kind of fun to watch. I really do enjoy watching the robots trade. That's why I kind of want to make I want to make a YouTube channel that's live that just watches our bots trade. And you can just like see them in real time, how they're doing, you know, like that's what I want to do. I think that'd be really cool. Let me know if you guys think that'd be cool. Because then it's like, you know, actually you could see the results of what we're doing. It's one thing for me to say we're making good returns. It's a lot more fun for you to be able to watch them day in and day out. So that's kind of, that's my thoughts here. Okay, so we got a chat. Does it trade options? Yes, we can get it to trade options. If you would like, we connect TD Ameritrade, we can get it to trade options. Yes, we can. Please do that for POC. Not sure what POC is. Is that a stock ticker? I'm not sure what you mean by POC. Proof of concept. So what do you mean specifically? So do you mean for like the live trading, so to like actually see the thing trading like through a, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. Definitely want to do that. I mean, you know, I think it would just be fun to watch. You guys can see this stuff going on our webinars and you can watch that. But I think it'd be way cooler if you guys could just see our trades over a longer period of time. I think that'd be really cool. Especially for smaller accounts. Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean, especially for smaller accounts. Does it trade option? Oh, does it trade options, especially for smaller accounts? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can get it to trade options. So that's the capability that we're adding in. If you guys were to take our course starting in March, then we will have that capability and I could actually walk you through it. As I said, one of our students in our current cohort is very interested in trading options. I also have a person who wants us to build out a bot for him, which is an options trading bot. So we're adding in the capabilities for options trading. And if you take our live course, you'll definitely have access to that, right? Additional thought, let the intraday bot run in the background from beginning of each webinar, show results at the end. Yeah, sure, we could do that. I mean, it's hard to see like on a day-by-day basis what the results are. The results of a bot is, you know, day in and day out. That's, you know, great. You could see that and you can compare the S&P 500, sure. But I think the real results come in a longer term time period. So yeah, we could do that if you want and show the results of the bot throughout the webinar. I think that'd be fun. But the truth is that, you know, the results of a bot, what really matters is over time, right? How does this work over a year, 3 or 4 year period? You know, from day to day, I mean, if you're winning day to day, you'll win a little, that's great. Really, it's about having a bot that will make you money in the long term, right? Okay. I take it that it sets. By the way, let me know if my internet's working well for you guys, because I got a little notification here that my internet's a bit off. Is my internet still good for you guys? Can you guys still see me? Is that still good? Yes, no? Not that clear. Shoot. We went to a new place right now. We're traveling. That's why it's a little bit off. We're in Mexico traveling. Momentary choppy. Okay, so been laggy past 1 minute. Hopefully it's coming back now. As I said, we're in Mexico for the next like 2 weeks. So okay, good, perfect. Okay, so it's come back. Great. So question is, will you be able to convert this bot to work with cryptocurrencies? Yes, you can do that. We also want to add in Binance so that you could actually trade with it. It's not hard to convert this over to crypto assets. It's just adding in another broker, right? So yes, you can use it for crypto. Yes, you can use it for options. It's just other assets, other brokers. But the bot is going to do the strategy for the stocks we have selected. or can we do across the NYSE and S&P? Yeah, I mean, you can set this bot to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of the course is, but when you go through this course, you're going to be able to build exactly the thing that you want to build, right? So the question is, you know, is it only for these strategies, or can we do other things? I mean, you could do whatever your mind can dream of, you know. Like that's the advantage of taking the course. Is like you really learn how to build out anything that you really want to build, right? There's people that like building these stock screeners. Look at 500 different stocks and which one should we buy on a daily basis, right? Like that sort of thing is a very common one. The momentum is a very common one. Using technical analysis is a common one. A lot of people keep asking about options. We can use options as well. I mean, it's code. You can get it to do pretty much whatever you want to do, and we teach you how to do that sort of thing, right? Okay. The list of tickers that needs to be monitored has to be provided by the user, or the bot can search for tickers based on verticals. Yeah, you could get the bot to search based on verticals. So you can basically, you feed it a list of, you could give it like 50,000 or 100,000 stocks. You could even just pull a list of stocks from the New York Stock Exchange. There's a way to do that. Exactly monitor them, you know, like it's like a stock screen. Like this, it's very much possible to create a stock screener using this kind of code. And actually, I think in future webinars, we will show you off a stock screener as well. So actually see that action as well. Is, you know, if you guys are asking these questions, it actually working, right? Yes, you can absolutely build a stock screener where you're searching 1,000 different stock and you know, picking the ones that work the best. You can absolutely do that. Okay, so internet, hopefully internet is better now. Any other questions, guys? And let me know if there's some issues with the internet again. Mexico and you know, they're installing fiber optics apparently in this area, but we're here for 2 weeks. So there's beach, but internet is issue sometimes, right? Cool. Okay. So all right, cool. So I think that's most of the webinar. If you have any other questions, please let me know of the different strategies. Again, we're going to be sending out a recording of this webinar through email, so you'll get it in your email. If you don't want to wait, go to our YouTube channel where it is currently live, and I'm going to put to the comments pretty much right after this. I'm going to put all this stuff into the comments so that you can have a listen. I could even do it after I sign off with you guys. So you'll see that in, you can go to our YouTube channel and get access to this presentation and our Discord and all that sort of thing. It's also be on our YouTube recorded, and we're going to be sending it through your emails. All right. And then again, we have a survey at the end. Please fill out the survey. I would really love to get some feedback from you guys. We're constantly working on improving our courses, constantly working on making these webinars better. So I love getting feedback from you guys. So please let me know. Is there statistical analysis covered? Absolutely. Absolutely. We do a lot of statistical analysis. We'll be taking a lot of different stock data and things like that, doing correlations on it, looking through like different types of statistical analysis. We're even doing machine learning, which is like super advanced statistical analysis. So absolutely, we're doing a lot of stats. And then not only do you take those stats, but you also back test on them and make sure that it's something that actually works for you, right? In real life, right? Absolutely. Okay, will the course graduates get access to bots that are already proven to work? I mean, we have example bots, and yeah, you could use those bots if you like, and they work. Do we have a bot that we can give to you? There's proprietary technology involved in this too. Do we have a bot that's going to make you a no? But I could tell you that if you sit down and learn through some of the stuff, you can build stuff that like really can build some cool things. But we do give you some bots that actually do work if you'd like, right? And I'll go through the class with that. The diversification strategy being one of the coolest ones, one that actually works really, really well. Zero knowledge of Python is no problem as well. So if you don't know Python, that's absolutely no problem, right? Okay, great. I saw a message that my internet is unstable again. Mexico, great weather, but not good internet. But rest assured, I mean, we're gonna be out of here pretty soon. I'm gonna be back to get internet, and that'll be very nice. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for attending the webinar. Absolutely, very much appreciate all your time. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for attending. If you guys are interested in the course, again, this course starts in a week. The registration cutoff is tomorrow, right? So if you guys want to join this course, please make sure that you join ASAP so that we could actually get you into this course. All right. There's one more or two more questions here. Have fun down there. Thanks. Thank you, and kind. Thank you guys. Thank you for being part of this. I love all these questions and back and forth. I feel like I learn a lot from you guys in terms of like what we can build as a company to help you out. And I'm constantly not only building better courses, but building better technology for you guys as well. I want to make you guys money. That's what I want to do. You know. And thank you very much. Thanks, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.